way, I do want to thank Wolva Lion. I see him in the chat.
Take it to the house, I'm about to touchdown. G's living lavish.
Come on, Goff. Come on, Goff. Yeah!
Belly's big, but they full. We do it big. I know you wish you could.
Welcome to Wolva Lion Sports Talk. I'm your host, Coach Mike Jones, formerly of Lunchtime Detroit Lions Talk, brought to you by Detroit Lions on the Proud YouTube channel. Shout out to Kurt Steele, LL Cool Torrance, Valerie Bordeaux, and the rest of the Proud Nation family. But y'all already know, man, this is for my Michigan Wolverines and my Detroit Lions' team, Wolva Lion. And we're trying to take over YouTube, man. Hey, like the videos, share the videos, subscribe to the channel. Help me get this content out to more Wolva Lion fans like yourself. I'm trying to flood YouTube, man. And you know what you can also do? Comment on the videos. I love to hear what you have to say about the videos, the content. Or maybe there's something that you want me to tackle that I haven't thought of yet. Man, you can leave a comment in the comment section and I will get to that video as soon as possible, man. I always take the advice of the people who watch the videos. And if you don't really want to be on the spot like that, you kind of want to slide me something, man, you can always email me, wolverlion@wolverlion.net. I will get back to you as soon as possible. A few people have emailed me already, and I got back to them because I'm just that kind of guy, man. Do me one favor. Go over to www.wolverlion.com. Yes, wolverlion.com, and get you one of these all white Wolva Lion tees for only $10, man. Only $10. And while you're there, go on the poll and vote. Vote for the Wolva Lion products that you would like to see released. Because my plan is by the beginning of the football season, I'm going to release the whole store. I don't want to release products that you guys are not interested in. So if you just go to www.wolverlion.com and put in your vote and let me know, and I can help you. Help me to help you. All right, but let's get into this topic for today. You know what? This is long overdue. I think it's something that needs to be discussed. So let's talk about Hendon Hooker. Yes, our draft pick Hendon Hooker, and what that means for Jared Goff. So let's play hypothetical, right? Hypothetical scenarios, right? And I'm gonna bring out the best hypothetical scenario possible for the Detroit Lions. And that's not for Jared Goff to take a nosedive off the deep end and then Hendon Hooker to rise, or Hendon Hooker to never fully become what he can and Jared Goff to take off. No, the best scenario is that Jared Goff exceeds what he is expected, and Hendon Hooker exceeds what he is expected. For both of them to be climbing the ladder, okay, and to be equally successful at their job. So, let's say hypothetically, okay. Well, actually, let's break down this Jared Goff contract real quick, just real quick. He has 2 years left, okay. So he has this year, 2023, and then he has 2024, and then he becomes an unrestricted free agent in 2025. So the plan would be to re-sign Jared Goff in 2024, because even if you're going to trade him, you still want Jared Goff to be signed to a contract. It makes it easier to trade him, or you want to re-sign him because the sooner you re-sign him, the better, because QB salaries are getting more expensive as time goes on. And I know the Lions really don't want to be on the hook for a more expensive contract later on down the line. So let's get this hypothetical scenario going. And this is actually, it's a very possible scenario or something like it. So let's say Hendon Hooker starts the year off on the PUP list, which he is, and he kind of has like a Jameson Williams kind of first year. So he comes off the PUP list in week 6, okay? He is then the third string quarterback. And let's say by week 13, 14, he's leapfrogged Nate Sudfeld into the second string quarterback. And let's hypothetically say the Lions have locked in on the third playoff seed, so we will be hosting a playoff game. They've locked in on the third seed in the playoffs after week 17. So week 18 is a wash. Doesn't matter what happened in week 18, we will still be the third seed. In comes Hendon Hooker. Okay, so Hendon Hooker plays. He has a decent game. Let's see here. He's 19 for 25. He 3 touchdowns, 1 interception. But the caveat is, it's against the Minnesota Vikings. Okay, and the Minnesota Vikings are in a win and you're in scenario, much like the Packers were last year. Okay, and Hendon Hooker leads the Lions past the Vikings at home. Okay, so he knocks the Vikings out of the playoffs. Okay, now you know that's a very intense and very important game. Minnesota is going to bring their all, and Hendon Hooker leads the Lions to beat the Vikings, to knock the Vikings out of the playoffs. All right. Same time, Jared Goff wins his first playoff game with the Lions. Okay, so wild card weekend, Jared Goff gets a victory. Let's say second in the divisional round, Jared Goff, they lose in overtime to the San Francisco 49ers. Okay, so here we go into the offseason, right? Okay, we're into the offseason, and Hooker has basically unseated Nate Sudfeld as the backup quarterback. All right, Hendon Hooker is looking very good. Jared Goff is looking very good. Jared Goff now is going into the final year of his contract. Okay, so Jared Goff is playing, lights out. All right, and then around week, let's say around week 9 or 10, Jared Goff gets a little arm soreness, right? Nothing like real bad, but he gets a little arm soreness, and they're like, okay, we're gonna sit Jared Goff for 2-3 games, all right? In comes Hendon Hooker. Hendon Hooker then, in that 3-game period, goes 2-1. The one loss is against whoever won the Super Bowl the year before, in overtime. All right. Now, yeah, I'm getting real hypothetical here, but let's just say the team that he lost to was the team that won the Super Bowl, and he lost to them either in overtime or a close game. They came down to the fourth quarter, right? So Hendon Hooker is, his trajectory is just there, right? He's taken where he was his senior year at Tennessee, and he's way past that, right? In comes Jared Goff. Jared Goff now leads the Lions to another home playoff game. He actually gets the Lions to the NFC Championship. The Lions lose in the NFC Championship. All right? We're in the offseason. Okay? It's the offseason going into 2025. What do you do? All right? That's the big question. Now, do you want to be on the hook for that new contract? Because that's going to make it so that you might not be able to sign some of these draft picks that are stars that you had drafted. So, that's the question. The pinned comment that I'm going to leave is, if Hendon Hooker is on the trajectory and Jared Goff progresses, do you A, trade Jared Goff, or B, do you trade Hendon Hooker? Hendon Hooker will still be on that rookie contract. So me, I'm gonna go with Hendon Hooker. That's just me. If Hendon Hooker is on that trajectory, if he is on that trajectory where he's played in 4 games and he's 3-1, one of those games was against the Vikings and knocked him out the playoffs. And the second one of those important games was a game against the eventual Super Bowl champion of 2023, and he takes them to overtime, or the last drive of the fourth quarter, and he loses, I'm gonna take Hendon Hooker. And what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna re-sign Jared Goff, because that's the one thing that you're gonna have to do regardless. Even if you're gonna trade Jared Goff, you're gonna have to re-sign Jared Goff to a contract, then trade him. So I say we give Jared Goff a 4-year contract, and then we trade him, which most likely is gonna be to another NFC team. I just see the AFC is so top loaded in quarterbacks. And also I see Brad Holmes being kind of friendly to Jared Goff, you know, kind of like you get to pick where you want to go, kind of how Stafford did. And Jared Goff is probably going to stay in the NFC unless Aaron Rodgers decides that he's had enough, and then the New York Jets job is open and Jared Goff probably goes to the Jets. But let's just say Jared Goff chooses to go to some team, maybe it's the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Okay, yeah, man, I would like to keep Hendon Hooker and see where Hendon Hooker goes, excuse me, because his contract is going to be one that is friendly to the team. It's going to be one that is not going to be outrageous. And then we'll be able to sign all these draft picks that we have that are standouts, because we all know Brad Holmes' staff has done a marvelous job, and I would go that route. Now, I would not go with that route if Hendon Hooker ends up not being a starter, right? If Hendon Hooker does not end up being a starter, then he's just a backup, well, then he took him in the 3rd round, so he's a backup. It's a win-win situation for the Lions. There's no risk involved in the Lions. So I'm going to pin this comment up. What would you do if the trajectory was on the same, we were both on the rise? Okay, would you keep Jared Goff and keep Hendon Hooker as a backup? Would you keep Jared Goff and trade Hendon Hooker away? Or would you keep Hendon Hooker and trade Jared Goff away? Let me know. Drop a comment in the comment section, because this is a topic that, you know, is kind of danced around and really not talked about, because we can afford to kind of push it to the back burner because of Hendon Hooker's recovery process. But when that process is over, this is something that might play out. So drop a comment in the comment section. I'll leave the pinned comment, and I'll let me know what you think about this Hendon Hooker versus Jared Goff. All right? But you already know, man, I am about to get out of here. And you know how I end this every session is we're going from Ford Field to the big house. We're going from the big house to Ford Field. You know, whatever, man. It's go blue, one pride. I holla at y'all.
To the house, I'm about to touch down. G's living lavish, so our shit is plushed out.